You're listening to Civic Media. You can tune into any of our live shows on any radio station across the state with the Civic Media app. Find us in your phone's app store and listen anytime, anywhere. This is your WAUK Daily News Roundup for the Shaw, 101.1 FM and 540 AM in Waukesha.
For 540 WAUK News, I'm Stuart J. Waddles. The former executive director of the Wisconsin Democratic Party has announced his candidacy for party chair. Devin Rummaker made his announcement yesterday following Ben Wickler's decision not to seek re-election. Rummaker says he's ready to fight for Democratic victories and build upon Wickler's legacy. The election for party leadership will be held at the WisDems convention this June. Congresswoman Gwen Moore is condemning recent ICE arrests at Milwaukee's courthouse. She says the removal of sensitive space protections undermines community safety. Moore argues that ICE arresting people could cause crime victims to become fearful of the justice system. She criticizes the administration for scrapping protections that once shielded schools, hospitals, and houses of worship from immigration enforcement. ICE says one of the men arrested was a gang member, currently facing a weapons charge, and was ordered to be deported by a judge in 2020. Medical debt can be devastating. Now one company is partnering with the Packers to help Wisconsin veterans. Lisa Hale has the story.
Verizon and the Green Bay Packers announced a $3 million debt relief program for Wisconsin veterans over the next 2 years. Andy Brady, Verizon's market president, said the immediate investment of $1 million and the future investment of $2 million over the next few years is the right thing to do.
Today, in the Green Bay area, there's about $4.8 million in medical debt that veterans are carrying right now that unfortunately some of them can't pay for. So what we're doing is we're paying off $1 million in random acts of kindness.
Verizon is partnering with ForgiveCo to facilitate paying off medical debts of Wisconsin veterans. ForgiveCo is a company that identifies and handles the debt for veterans in need. It will reach out to veterans in the coming months.
And that's news on 540 WAUK. I'm Stuart J. Waddles.
The Brewers head to Arizona. Hi, I'm Mike Clemens with sports. Baseball, the Brewers in Phoenix to open a 3-game weekend series against the Diamondbacks tonight. Their crew losing to the Rockies yesterday, 7-2. Colorado coming up with a 5-run rally in the 8th. But right-hander Quinn Priester, picked up in that trade with the Boston Red Sox this week, had a good outing in his debut with the Brewers, allowing just 1 run in 5 innings.
I thought I settled in later in the game nicely. You know, with all the hecticness this week, getting through those first 3, even though it was a little sloppy. Thought it was a good job of just limiting the damage.
NBA, the Bucks beat the Pelicans 136-111. Now they have 2 regular season games left. Tonight in Detroit, then Sunday they host the Pistons before heading into the postseason. Then what? Doc Rivers.
Going into playoffs healthy. We have an entire week after these 2 games to get ready for whoever our opponent is, or at least 5 days, let's say. That'll get us rest. That'll get us ready.
That's the Bucks' Doc Rivers. With sports, I'm Mike Clemens.
On your entertainment beat, I'm Pete Schwaba. So what do you do after you show the world how you do foreplay and it goes viral? Then you're accused of bilking investors from a bad Bitcoin deal? For Haley Welch, also known as the Hawktua Girl, you do a cameo on Glenn Powell's new show on Hulu called Chad Powers. The jury is still out on whether or not she can act, but she did cooperate with authorities who investigated her Bitcoin dealio. She was cleared of any wrongdoing. There is also a documentary on the way about her quick rise to fame called Doctua. Get ready for round 2 of Haley's 15 Minutes. The Hunger Games prequel has some cast news. The Hunger Games Sunrise on the Reaping is in pre-production and set 24 years before the original Hunger Games. TheWrap.com reports that Elle Fanning has been offered the role of young Effie Trinket, the character played by Elizabeth Banks in the first 4 films. She has not officially accepted the role yet. The Hunger Games Sunrise on the Reaping will hit theaters November 20th of 2026. Here's one of Pete's picks. I just finished the show Adolescence. I thought it was absolutely outstanding. The show follows a 13-year-old boy who was accused of murdering a female classmate and how the incident affects his family and community. Stephen Graham is one of the show's creators and plays the boy's father. Without saying too much, the 4-episode miniseries is excellent start to finish, and I highly recommend it. Speaking of Adolescence, which is one of Netflix's most popular shows, there is already talk of a season 2. In addition to Graham's writing and producing the show, executive producer Brad Pitt's production company Plan B says they are interested in another season. Plan B producer Dee Dee Gardner says they are looking to widen the aperture, stay true to its DNA, and not be repetitive. I'm going to go get my Hollywood English dictionary and look that up, but I think that sounds positive. Sure, Harvey Weinstein was the face of the Me Too movement and a total creep, but don't forget about Bugsy screenwriter James Toback, who apparently was equally as horrible. Toback, who was one of the first names mentioned in the Me Too movement, was just ordered to pay $1.7 billion to 40 victims who testified at his 7-day trial in New York. Maybe he and Harvey can be cellmates. When she's not running into a fellow skier on the slopes and being taken to court or creating products called Goop, Gwyneth Paltrow is the host of her own podcast, also called Goop. The Shakespeare in Love star was joined on the podcast by her husband since 2018, TV producer Brad Fulcher. Paltrow made a point of saying he will join her on her podcast to talk about step parenting. For more showbiz fun, tune into Nightlight with me, Pete Schwaba, weeknights from 6 to 8 p.m. on the Civic Media Radio Network.
Mostly sunny today. We'll get to the mid-40s this afternoon. Tonight, mostly clear. We're going to drop down into the low 30s. We are going to warm up into the weekend. Sunny on Saturday, low to mid-50s on Sunday. A few scattered showers with a high in the mid to upper 50s. I'm meteorologist Sean Cable. Outside now, it's 33.
That's your WAUK Daily News Roundup from Civic Media. Subscribe to this podcast on Spotify, Apple, or wherever you find your podcasts. Find more news at WAUKradio.com. The national news cycle never stops, but it can be hard to find news about your local community. Civic Media is dedicated to providing quality local and state news coverage across Wisconsin. With the Civic Media app, you can get notifications about local stories that matter to you and your community. Find the free Civic Media app in your phone's app store and choose notifications from the menu to tell us what kind of news you want to hear about.